The meeting will please come to order. I would ask everyone to stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. For the invocation tonight, I'd like to recognize Councilmember Ronnie Stein.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Members of the Council, thanks to Councilman Teigert's willingness to support this, tonight's invocation is different. It is technically not an invocation. We are going to hear a presentation tonight from Nashville's first Youth Poet Laureate. Lagnajita Mukhopadhyay is a junior at Hume Fogg High School. She went through an extensive process in a program sponsored by the Mayor's Office, the Arts Commission, the Public Libraries, and Libraries Foundation, Urban Word, and facilitated and organized by Southern Word, Nashville's leader on youth voice. Lagnajita, after winning this contest now, represents young people in our community, providing a voice. On your desk is both a brief article written by Jen Cole about her and the process, and a copy of Lagnajita's poem. And so I give you, at the back podium, Lagnajita.
The city never stops giving. On the corner of 6th and Broadway, where downtown traffic is a harrowing consistency, and when the light turns green, it doesn't always mean go. The place where Roy Orbison wrote, "Oh Pretty Woman," emboldened by the femme of mercy below his apartment balcony. Where the music and the tourists leave a warm taste of affinity. By the Starbucks in the Renaissance that snags money from teenagers that rendezvous before school, but they can never spell my name right on the little cups filled with magic. From this crosswalk, electricity ripples through the crooked streets of the entire city. The path of headlights matures into the veins of a breathing atmosphere. The weight is forgiving. And when we don't like what we see and all significance is lost, we can turn around softly and walk the other way. A newfangled story in a blink and a sigh, blinkers signaling a right turn, people staring straight ahead, headlong into the bright eyes of a symmetrical world. And so begins the journey across the black and white, where everyone becomes familiar and nothing feels strange. Every step falls into the heartbeats of a million lonely people. And when this crosswalk ends, so does another chance encounter with the supreme stranger you never would have otherwise met. A James, a Taylor, a small life changer. The old love of a never-ending family meets a new love of a never-ending home. And the city never stops giving. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Without objection, we'll suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of the members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes of our March 17th meeting? Without any objection, the minutes will stand approved as written. Madam Clerk, are there any messages from the mayor?
There are no messages from the mayor.
Thank you. On your desk, you will find a letter from Councilmember Pridemore concerning the dates of budget hearings and other budget information, so mark your calendars. It'll be a busy time during May and June. Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would just like to take a moment to recognize Boy Scout Troop 92. If you guys will stand up, please, back there. Thank you. They are here working on their Service in the Nation badge, and they are here to watch democracy at work. So let's give them a show. Thank y'all for being here.
Councilmember Bedney.
Please come closer. I want to thank my peers in the Southeast for helping me celebrate today a really great organization that supports small businesses in the area around Lenox Village. Whereas the small businesses are the backbone of our economy and the glue that holds our community together, whereas the Lenox Village Business Area Association provides an avenue for businesses to speak as one voice on important business interests along with a focus on community. And whereas the Lenox Village Business Area Association was established in 2012 as approximately 75 members and is located along the Nolensville Road Pike between the north boundary of Lenox Village and Mill Creek, and whereas the Lenox Village Business Area Association mission shall be to help brand the Lenox Village area, promote business growth, and support the local community. And over the past 3 years, its main charity event, which you should try to attend because it's great, the Great Food Truck Festival has raised over $6,000 for the Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee, whereas it's well known that local business create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our neighborhoods. And it's fitting and proper that we recognize this great organization. And I'm very proud to give this to the Lenox Village people. Thank you. Rose, if you want to say something.
I thank Councilman Bedney for presenting this to us, and also wanted to thank the entire council for your continued support of small businesses in Davidson County and allowing us to grow and to flourish. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
We're now at elections and confirmations. Councilmember Harmon.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee met this evening and considered the following: the appointment of Mrs. Jessica Van Dyke to the Beer Permit Board, the reappointments of Ms. Lillian Blackshear and Mr. Jeff Haynes to the Planning Commission, the appointments of Mr. Matthew Clark and Mr. David Wilson to the Plumbing Examiners Appeals Board, and the appointment of Mr. Steve Mindbris and the reappointment of Ms. Mary Rolando to the Social Services Commission, all of which were approved, 6 in favor and none opposed, and I would move their approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Jessica Van Dyke, Lillian Blackshear, Jeff Haynes, Matthew Clark, David Wilson, Steve Mindbrais, and Mary Rolando. On behalf of the entire Metropolitan Council, thank you for your willingness to serve and to donate your time and your expertise for our city. Thank you very much. We're now at the resolution on public hearing. RS 2015-1415 exempts Duke's Restaurant located at 1000 Main Street, Suite 103 from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit. Councilmember Westerholm.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I move to open the public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, does anyone in support wish to speak? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Councilmember Westerholm.
Thank you. With that, I'd move approval.
A committee report. Real quick, Councilman Baker.
Public safety beer and regulated beverages approved 3-0.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Next on public hearing, we have BL 2015-1043 and 1044. Without objection, we can take these two together. Seeing none, 1043 amends the Hillsborough Village Urban Design Overlay to add a parcel and create a subdistrict 1D. 1044 changes .32 acres from RM40 to MUL zoning for property located at 2024 Blakemore Avenue. Councilmember Moore.
I move to open the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Anyone in support wishing to speak, please line up at the lectern. State your name and address, please.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, Councilman. My name is Gary Everton. I am an architect. Our office is at 515 Main Street in East Nashville. I'd like to let you know that the project that we are working on, our client is GBT Realty, and we are proposing a project at the corner of 21st and Wedgwood. There's currently a Regions Bank on that corner and a surface parking lot on the very corner that reaches into the Hillsborough Village area. GBT approached us about 8 months ago and asked for a first-class project that was a mixed-use project involving both retail at the street level and affordable housing above. We have designed a project that immediately started off meeting with the Design Review Committee for the Hillsborough Village overlay. We took all of their comments and suggestions, and we came back with a revised plan addressing all of their issues. Sum total is we've changed the project so that it fits into the village, the aesthetics of Hillsborough Village. We have 4 stories of structure. It is in the low part of the Hillsborough Village area, and it's consistent with the adjacent properties on the other corners. We have added a full level of parking underground to satisfy some of the needs that were expressed about there is not enough parking anywhere in Nashville. So we have 97 additional parking spaces above what is required by codes and zoning. I will let you know that GBT as a client is going to hold on to the property, so it is not intended to be one of the apartment projects that flips in the next few years. They want to hold on to the property. With that in mind, we acquired quite an extensive team of professionals, Little John Engineering, RPM Transportation Consultants, and EOA Architects. We have a project after the first DRC meeting. We then had a community meeting. Council Lady Moore chaired the meeting, and we got feedback from the community. Again, one of the concerns was parking, so we have addressed that. The additional meeting that we had with the DRC, Design Review Committee, the second meeting, we had addressed all the concerns, and the vote was unanimous to approve the project with the conditions that we had set on the project. We have 103 apartment units. Some of them are fairly small. The target market is young doctors from Vanderbilt Hospital, the staff of nurses and other health caregivers. It is within walking distance of one of the largest employers in our town, and so that actually helps reduce the traffic. So we are looking for great things. We have several amenities in the project: courtyard with swimming pool, fitness area, rooftop gardens. At the request of the DRC, we added a corner restaurant to enliven the corner of this particular project. So we think we have hit the target in all regards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Amy Birch. I'm a registered professional engineer in the state of Tennessee. I work for RPM Transportation Consultants, and we're located at 1101 17th Avenue South here in Nashville. And we provided traffic engineering services for the proposed development on behalf of GBT. Specifically, I prepared the traffic impact study, and we've worked with Public Works regarding review of that traffic study. And we will continue to work with them regarding site issues and traffic flow. As mentioned, the Village 21 development includes just 103 apartment units. It also includes street-level retail and restaurant space on that parcel, as well as the Regions Bank will remain on the site. Based on our traffic analysis and projections regarding traffic, the development will add about 45 new vehicle trips during the AM peak hour and 56 new vehicle trips during the PM peak hour to that intersection of 21st and Wedgwood. So that's just a less than 2% increase on today's traffic. The mixed-use development is located in a relatively dense area of town. There's already residential uses, retail, restaurant, office, and 2 universities and a medical center right there by the project site. Pedestrian activity in this area is very high, which is attributed to the area's density and mix of uses. And because of the location of this site and the mix of uses, some of the development related trips will be pedestrian trips, bicycle trips, and transit trips. The development will relocate and widen an existing alley that bisects 2 parcels on the property, and the new relocated alley will maintain access to the existing surrounding properties, as well as provide secondary access to our property. The development plans also to provide primary access on Wedgwood Avenue, an existing location, and provide a right turn out only onto 21st, which we think will help traffic flow over current conditions, because today people are turning into the bank property from 21st, which kind of slows down traffic flow on 21st as people are having to slow to turn in. So we think that's an improvement for site flow and traffic flow. The development includes structured parking, as Gary mentioned, so I won't go over that. But like he said, we're providing more parking for the property than is required by zoning, so there'll be additional parking available for the Hillsborough Village. I'm available if there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Will Cheek. I live at 1619 18th Avenue South. I've lived there for about 15 years and plan on going out in a pine box. The neighborhood is a big concern, and this is 3 blocks away. I see this as being a positive change for our neighborhood, and I support it, and I hope that the council does too. I'm particularly interested in the fact that the development pushes the height forward towards Hillsborough Road. This street slopes down from my house to Hillsborough Road, and so by raising the height at the front as opposed to the back, they make the impact on the neighbors behind much less, and I appreciate that, and I know that's one of the things the council will consider tonight. Parking is a concern everywhere, and I think they've addressed parking very well. The restaurant on the corner will be terrific. As presently proposed, has an outdoor area and will be elevated on a 2nd story. I think it would really make the village sort of a hopping, happening place. That area, people don't tend to walk past that because there's no retail other than the bank for about a half a block. I think it will help connect Hillsborough Village to the next phase, which brings it right onto Vanderbilt. So I view it as a very positive and support it.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Erica Garrison, 4509 Nebraska Avenue. I'm a lawyer with Waller Lanston, and our law firm represents the applicant, GPT Realty. I'll keep it very brief. We've understood from dealing with Council Lady Moore and Council Lady Allen, both for whose districts are impacted by this development, that there are really 3 primary concerns. Number 1 is parking. You've heard that we're going to have essentially 69 extra spaces above code that are going to be easily accessible by the public for Hillsborough Village. We think that's a great thing for the area. We understand that the FAR could be an issue. We are keeping the FAR as it currently is under the Metro Code. We're asking for no special exceptions on that issue, and that was worked out with the DRC and the Planning Commission. And the last issue, most likely, is the alleyway, and I think Amy Birch addressed that. The alleyway will be closed, but it will be relocated. So those 3 things we believe we have addressed. We're happy to answer any additional questions about them. I know there are some individuals in the public that may be opposed to this and may be here, and you'll hear from them. We would simply ask that you give us additional time to answer their questions, but you continue to move this project forward. We think it's a great project for the community. We ask for your approval, and if there are additional questions, we ask that you pass it through at this reading and give us time to respond to those questions before 3rd reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in opposition wishing to speak, please line up at the lectern. Please line up at the lectern and state your name and address, please.
Hi, I'm Susan Stewart. I'm the South Regional Director for the Recording Academy, 1904 Wedgwood Avenue. We're not really opposed to the project. What we're opposed is the entrance coming in from Wedgwood Avenue. Our buildings are on Wedgwood Avenue. There are about 4 or 5 businesses right on that easement. Right now, traffic uses our parking lot like a street, and it's very dangerous. Also, when you drive down Wedgwood, if you're going east on Wedgwood towards downtown, it's almost impossible to make a left-hand turn with the AM traffic. Therefore, there are countless accidents on that corner. We hear the sirens all day long, so we're very concerned about the safety of making the entrance on Wedgwood Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Martin Dillingham. I'm representing Pizza Perfect and K-Bob's Grill, located right next door to the proposed site. We're not in opposition of the site. We see it as a good thing for the neighborhood. We just are very concerned for traffic and other reasons that people can't turn left onto 21st Avenue from anywhere, including our street, that it was just redone to where it was a right turn only. And so for the entire block, starting at Wedgwood all the way down into Hillsborough Village, or into past our building, past Capers Avenue, it's only right turn only, so everybody has to go up the street and turn around and then come back down the street to do anything. And we just feel that more consideration to do with the traffic is in need. Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Moore.
I'm going to move for approval, and I do have a brief explanation.
Have a motion and a second. Councilmember Moore.
When we met, I did meet with some of those individuals personally just to discuss some of the traffic concerns, especially at K-Bob's and Pizza Perfect. And you know, the alley was discussed, the parking was discussed, and this will be amended on third reading as well. So again, hoping that we can address some of the easement and traffic concerns as well. There was a traffic study done, so hopefully that we can, you know, address these issues. Again, I move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1045 changes 4.99 acres from AR2A to IWD zoning for property located at 12872 Old Hickory Boulevard. Councilmember Duvall.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Call for the open of the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, does anyone in support wish to speak? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Councilmember Duvall.
I'd like to move for approval, please.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1046 changes 4.18 acres from RS10 to SP zoning for property located at 204 Ben Allen Road to permit up to 17 dwelling units. Councilmember Bennett.
Open the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing none on either side, the public hearing is closed. Councilmember Bennett.
Move approval, please.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1047 changes 1.25 acres from R6 to SP zoning for property located at Wedgwood Avenue unnumbered, approximately 750 feet west of Bransford Avenue to permit a mixed-use development. Councilmember Moore.
I move to open the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Anyone in support wishing to speak, please line up at the lectern. I'm sorry, Mr. White. Try again.
Vice Mayor, neighbors, members of the council, my name is Tom White. I live at 36 Old Club Court, and I represent the applicant in this matter. This is a request for an SP zoning. It was not only unanimously approved at the Planning Commission, it was actually on the consent agenda. There was no one down there in opposition. At the front end, I want to thank Council Lady Moore, who has had any number of neighborhood meetings, fielded any number of different calls, and we had the support throughout for the SNAP neighborhood group, which has been so much involved with so many things in this area. With respect to the infill development, my client Ariel has got a first-class reputation for development such as this. There's a real sensitivity and a commitment to affordable housing. We'd urge the approval of the council tonight. Thank you for your courtesies.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Brittany Turner, the CEO of Ariel Development Group. Ariel as a company is very sensitive to the issue of affordable workforce housing.
Could you give us your address, please?
1711 Sevier Street.
Thank you.
We've been looking for opportunities to help address this issue. We heard loud and clear that SNAP, Council Lady Moore, and the community are passionate about finding solutions and see this project as an opportunity to address some of that need. We have worked hard to make sure that our proposed rental prices were at a minimum of 10% lower when compared to the market rents of nearby comparable projects. Our goal is to deliver a more affordable product and set the precedents for future growth on Wedgwood Avenue. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Josh Randolph. I live at 1711 East Side Avenue. Thank you all for all your time, and especially Council Lady Moore for all your help over the past year on this project. My name is Josh Randolph again, work as head of entitlements for Ariel Development Group. We've been working on this for about a year now. After purchasing the property in July of 2014, we started working closely with the SNAP neighborhood organization as well as Council Lady Moore. And with 3 neighborhood meetings and 4 SNAP board member meetings, we were able to grasp the wants and the needs of the community. And we feel that this project fits well with the desires of the neighborhood. Per request of Council Lady Moore, I went door to door in the vicinity of this project, knocking on neighbors' doors and just kind of get a feel for what their views were on the project, if they would oppose it, support it, and any changes that they'd want to have. We're extremely excited about this project, and we're excited that we have the support of the neighborhood, of the SNAP organization, and Council Lady Moore. We look forward to creating a wonderful development that this neighborhood can be proud of. I appreciate all of your time and ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, members of the council. My name is Hal Clark. I'm with Civil Site Design Group with the planning and engineering consultants for the landowner. And I just wanted to mention a couple of things specifically about the project itself and also add a couple of things about the process that we've gone through. When we started looking at this project, there were a couple of things that really stood out to us as a design team and an ownership team that could be a real asset to this community in this neighborhood. And one was creating a strong gateway into the Wedgwood-Houston neighborhood. Where I think you all know where this project is. It's right there on the right off the interstate, the interchange at Wedgwood, and the opportunity to create a really nice streetscape with some non-residential neighborhood commercial uses we thought would be a really great asset to the neighborhood. Also, the second thing was to really offer a residential product to this neighborhood that you really couldn't find anywhere else in this neighborhood, and in the right location. And we absolutely feel like this could be the really great location for this kind of product to deliver to this neighborhood. And we had several neighborhood meetings. Feedback was fantastic. We had great dialogue. We talked through the types of uses that the residents would like to see on the ground floor, the commercial uses, and I guess more importantly, the kind of uses that they did not want to see. We revised our SP to be very specific to prohibit those kinds of uses. We actually talked through traffic. Obviously, that was a big issue. We had a traffic study done and completed to analyze where the ingress and egress from the project was. The traffic study actually didn't require a second access point into the project based on a traffic analysis. But when we were meeting with Public Works and Planning, it was very important to them to have a second access point to alleviate any of this traffic. So our clients have agreed to add a second access point to the rear alley of the project. So we've worked through those things that were concerns to them as well. It was a great process with the neighborhood, and we ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Colby Sledge. I live at 614 Moore Avenue. I'm a resident of Wedgwood, Houston, and live a couple of blocks from where this project is proposed. It is proposed on an unnumbered lot because it's a vacant lot. It's been vacant for several years. The applicant did meet with the neighborhood several times. I'm coming as a co-chair of what we call the Neighborhood Council on Affordable Living, which several neighbors did last year, and I think I mentioned to you at a previous project. We had just finished our work when the applicant came with this project. We gave them a copy of the report that the neighborhood had produced, and we started working through some of the things that we could meet based on that report. Some of the things that this project does meet is a desire from the neighbors for rental property. We do want to make sure that as rental property comes off market, that there's new rental property that goes on the market to provide a wide range of housing. We did discuss affordability at length, and we're pleased to see that this will be below market rate for comparable projects around the area. We are also working with the applicant on working on traffic issues and streetscape, because we feel like Wedgwood is a big part of our future in Wedgwood, Houston, the artery that lines our neighborhood. And they did add retail on the bottom floor at the neighborhood's request. It wasn't in the original plan when they came to us, and one of our big concerns was we want to welcome local businesses into our area where it's appropriate, and so we were able to work with them on the size and scope of that. So we hope that you'll support this project. SNAP had a board meeting tonight, and a board member is on his way. I don't know if he'll be behind me by the time I get done talking, but just so you know, their support, they had met with the SNAP board and with the entire neighborhood several times. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in opposition wishing to speak, please line up. State your name and address, please.
Terry Bear, 323 Forest Park. I just saw this one today, and I wish I'd like to have this deferred. I know a lot of people that live in that area, and they are very concerned about the high density that is coming down Wedgwood. There are very few spots that are as dense as this on that particular part of Wedgwood now, but they are very concerned as to what's coming next. The way that Wedgwood is stacking up now, it is going to impact the ability for people to get to their homes in the streets that are that are on the various sides of it. And I think this is kind of just a way for some of the people in the SNAP Corporation to, expand what they want there. And the rest of us are just residents. We don't have, we're not paid consultants. We don't all have time to get down here, right after work to talk about these things. And I mean, I try to look for things, but I'm just one person. You need to hear from the rest of the people that are in that neighborhood, in that area there, that are trying to live in the houses, and even some of them are in dense housing, but they've got area around there that offsets it, that they can still park in and function in and have their pets. And I mean, I hear people talk about parking, and they're never telling you, I mean, are these nice ample parking spots that are easy to get into, or are there ones that you're going to have to pay a large fee just to park in there, or you just really don't know, so you're going to be parking in somebody's yard anyway? This really concerns me that we're getting a small group of people that really want to overpopulate Wedgwood, the high density. I mean, yes, maybe the first group of people are intending this to be a low rent place, but affordable by their terms. But whatever you build, it's going to go by what the market ends up having it there. I mean, it's going to appreciate and depreciate, and at this point, I mean, you're getting supposedly getting all these people that are renting it or buying these places, but look into the future. How much, when everything comes online, what's going to happen? I just would like the right to defer this and allow the people that are concerned in this neighborhood that they did not talk to or would not probably have known about this or may have been confused about it, or there's so many things going on in that place to get a chance to look at this closer. Thank you.
Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Moore.
Vice Mayor, I'm going to move for approval on this, and I do have a brief explanation.
We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Moore.
I just want to say that when Mr. Colby-Sledge spoke, the SNAP group and the SNAP board, or the area, the Wedgwood-Houston area, I asked him when they started this affordability, or this council on affordability, I asked them to reach out to everyone, especially, if you're going to get the neighbors engaged, please engage them, please engage everyone, not just those persons who attend the meetings. So they did that, and they submitted the information that they obtained from these meetings to the planning department as to what they vision as what they want to see in the Wedgwood-Houston area. As some of the, Mr. Randolph spoke, he spoke and said that he rode his bicycle around door to door about the community, because I've had some people to call me and said, who is this gentleman riding around with his bicycle, trying to be engaging with the community. And so they started this project in October of last year. And if you all know me, I'm comment card crazy. I am notebook crazy. So if you're going to do a project in District 17, as long as I'm there, you're going to have to give me a notebook on what you're doing. So, and that's what they did. So again, I move this for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Next is BL 2015-1048, changes approximately 16.76 acres from CS, MUL, OR20, RM40, and R6 zoning to DTC zoning for various properties located west of Rosa L. Park Boulevard and north of Jefferson Street, and to update associated maps with the metro zoning to reflect the proposed DTC and Hope Gardens sub-district boundaries. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I move to open the public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one on either side, the public hearing is closed. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1049 makes applicable the provisions of the urban design overlay for 20.5 acres located east of Bowling Avenue along Valley Vista Road, Bellwood Avenue, and Saratoga Drive. Councilmember Holloman.
Move to open the public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, does anyone in support wish to speak? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Councilmember Holloman.
Move approval.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1050 changes 0.59 acres from RS5 to SP zoning for properties located at 1201 Davidson Street, 1203 Davidson Street, and 1205 Davidson Street to permit up to 6 detached residential dwelling units. Councilmember Westerholm.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Move to open the public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one on either side, the public hearing is closed. Councilmember Westerholm.
With that, I'd move approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes.
My music.
BL 2015-1051 changes 1.152 acres from R6 to SP zoning for properties located at 1101, 1103, 1105, 1107, 1109, 1111, 1113, and 1115 3rd Avenue South and 3rd Avenue South unnumbered at the southwest corner of 3rd Avenue South and Mildred Chute Avenue to permit up to 54 residential units, 1,900 square feet of restaurant retail space, and 10 units totaling 7,000 square feet, which are to be office, retail, multifamily units. Councilmember Moore.
I move to open the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, does anyone in support wish to speak? Public hearing is closed. Councilmember Moore.
I move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1052 changes .56 acres from CL to CS zoning for property located at 5765 Old Hickory Boulevard. Councilmember Stanley.
Vice Mayor, I move to open the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing none on either side, public hearing is closed. Councilmember Stanley.
Move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1053 amends the Metro Code to update the downtown code standards. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I move to defer for 1 month with a brief explanation.
Have a motion and a second. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you very much. I move to defer because planning is still making some amendments to the bill. They have some historic preservation things they're doing and some special things that they think will work really good for the city, and they've asked that I defer it one month. So
we have a motion and a second for a 1 month deferral. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1054 changes 7.39 acres from IWD to MUG zoning for property located at 100 Cumberland Bend. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, does anyone in support wish to speak? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1055 amends the Metro Zoning Code to designate commercial amusement as a use permitted with conditions and adding conditions applicable to such land use. Councilmember Scott Davis.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move to open public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing none in opposition, does anyone in support wish to speak? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Councilmember Scott Davis.
I'd like to move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We're now at resolutions on our consent agenda. As we do, I will read the ones that are on consent. You can tell me if any need to be pulled. Then we will consider those after we have considered the consent agenda. And then we will consider those that were not on the consent agenda. First one is RS 2015-1416, authorizes the issuance. I'm sorry. That was not the right one. I apologize. 2015-1418 authorizes the issuance of Series 2015 electric system revenue refunding bonds in the amount not to exceed $135 million. 1421 approves an application for a state grant to the Metro Police Department. for Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force. 1422 approves an intergovernmental agreement between the United States Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives to the Metro Police Department for participation in the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network. 423 approves a grant from the State Department of Health to the Board of Health to provide tuberculosis control, prevention, and outreach services. 1424 approves a grant from the State Department of Health to the Metro Board of Health for food safety services and to participate in the Environmental Health Specialist Network. 1425 approves a grant from the State Department of Health to the Metro Board of Health to provide public health activities to enhance the health and well-being of women, infants, and families. 1426 approves a state grant to the Metro Health Department for health promotion programs. 1427 approves a grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to the Metro Board of Health to enhance access to community-based care for low-income individuals and families with HIV. 1428 approves a grant from the Tennessee State Library and Archives to the Nashville Public Library System for library services for the hearing impaired. 1429 accepts a donation of $10,918 from the Friends of Kellytown, Inc. to the Metro Parks Department for the preservation of Kellytown property. 1430 approves a license agreement with Nashville and Eastern Railroad Corporation for the purpose of constructing a 16-inch water main under the railway's right-of-way on Old Hickory Boulevard. 1431 authorizes HTDG LLC, ADB Honky Tonk Central, to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 329 Broadway. 1432 authorizes the Hilton Nashville Downtown to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 121 4th Avenue South for El Molino Torteria entrance at 124 5th Avenue South. 1434 authorizes the Department of Law to settle the personal injury claim of Christine D. Turner against Metro government in the amount of $25,000. 1435 sets the date and time of the State of Metro address, and 1436 approves the election of certain notaries public for Davidson County. 1437 opposes state legislation that would prohibit local governments from recognizing any labor union or employee association as a bargaining agent of government employees. 1438 recognizes the National Rifle Association 2015 annual meeting to be held April 10 through 12, 2015 in Nashville. 1439 proclaims the week of May 17 through 23, 2015 as Public Work Week in Metro Nashville. 1440 recognizes Dr. Jesse Register upon his retirement from Metro Schools. 1441 honors University School of Nashville on its 100th anniversary, and 1442 recognizes the Madison Suburban Utility District. Do any of these need to be pulled? Seeing none, I will need committee reports. Councilmember Pridemore.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. 2015-418, 2015-1421, that's 1418, 1423, 1424, 1425, 1426, 1427, 1428, 1429, 1430, and 1434. Budget and Finance voted 10-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The Health, Hospitals, and Social Service Committee approved 1423, 1424, 1425, 1426, and 1427, 3-4.
Thank you. Councilmember Bennett.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The Parks Committee approved 1428 and 1429, 6-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Weiner.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Personnel, Public Health, Information, Human Relations, and Housing Committee passed 2015-1056, 2-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning Historic approved Bill 1431, 1432, 10-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Weiner, do you have a report on 1437?
I do, if I could read that far down the page. RS 2015-1437 passed 2-4-0 against. Thank you
very much. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Safety Beer and Regulated Beverage approved 1421, 1422, 3-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Public Works approved 1435 in favor, 0 against, and 1431, 1432, and 1439, 4 in favor, and 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Harmon.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The Rules Committee approved 1435, 1436, 1063, 1438, 1440, 1441, 1442, 6 in favor, none opposed, and I would move approval of the consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Hager.
Madam Vice Mayor, note my abstaining on 1434.
Thank you. So noted. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Councilman Stein, I would like to recognize you now for a special presentation.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. We are a little bit out of order because we had to actually act on this before it could be presented tonight. I'm joined in this by Councilwoman Moore, whose district, the University School of Nashville, actually resides, and I appreciate her letting me lead on this. I'm joined by folks that are interested in University School, but there are at least a few folks who are parents of alumni in the room or current parents. I'm the lead on this because I was there for 12 years, and I'm part of 3 generations that actually we're honoring them on their 100th year anniversary. A member of one of the generations of my family were actually in this building for 57 of those 100 years, including my mother, who was the first grade in the building at Edge Hill. I'm joined by Vince Durnan, who is their director. And this resolution honors University School of Nashville, formerly Peabody Demonstration School, on its 100th anniversary. Whereas USN was founded as Peabody Demonstration School in 1915 and commemorating its 100th anniversary with a year-long celebration that culminates this May. And whereas PDS was created as a division of George Peabody College by its founder and first director, Dr. Tom Alexander, out of the progressive education movement of the early 20th century. And where its current building, located at 2000 Edge Hill, was first opened in 1925. And whereas 50 years ago, PDS was amongst the first schools in Nashville to embrace desegregation in its academic and co-curricular programming. And whereas in 1974, Peabody College closed the demonstration school, parents bought the school and named it University School of Nashville, which remains one of Nashville's finest private schools with 1,000 students in grades K through 12. Whereas USN PDS has been a continuous, active, and supportive partner in the broader Edge Hill community, and whereas its centennial celebration is entitled 101, One Student, One School, One Community, and whereas it's fitting and proper that we recognize USN PDS on its 100th anniversary and its many contributions to its students and the community, be it resolved that this council goes on record as recognizing University School, formerly Peabody Demonstration Schools, on its 100 years of history, quality education, and contributions to the broader community, and congratulates USN on its 100th birthday party the weekend of May 1st, and that this council is directed to prepare this resolution and give it to Mr. Vince Durnan, its distinguished director. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Stein, members of the council, Madam Vice Mayor. On behalf of the University School community, now many thousands strong, let me just offer a word of gratitude for the recognition and also for the lessons you teach, the lessons of service The example that you set here in this chamber, it has been quite an educational adventure over the past 4 generations on Edge Hill Avenue. We're very appreciative of the part that we play in the evolving educational story in our city, and I promise you we are resolved in this coming century to be part of the solution. Thank you very much.
We're now on RS 2015-1416, authorizes the issuance and sale of water and sewer revenue bond anticipation notes in the amount, pardon? Not to exceed $200 million outstanding at any one time in the form of commercial paper. We can also take RS 2015-1417 with this one. It authorizes the issuance and sale of water and sewer revenue bond anticipation notes not to exceed $100 million in the form of extendable commercial paper. Councilmember Pridemore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance voted 9-4 and 1 abstention on both bills on 1416 and 1417. And I move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. RS 2015-1419 appropriates $14,944,500 from the General Fund Reserve for the purchase of equipment and building repairs for various metro departments. Councilmember Pridemore.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. The 1419 Budget and Finance voted 9-4, 1 abstention. And I move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. RS 15-1420 appropriates $1,849,600 to the Fairgrounds, Farmers Market, and Municipal Auditorium to balance their fiscal year 2014-2015 operating budgets. Councilmember Pridemore.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. The Budget and Finance voted 10-4-0 against for a deferral, and by the rules of council, that I believe that's automatic deferral.
It's an automatic deferral. We don't need a motion. Next is RS 2015-1433, provides amendments to the charter and sets forth a brief description of each amendment to be placed on the ballot. Councilmember Stein. Councilmember Johnson.
The Charter Revision Committee deferred for 2 meetings, 7-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Stein.
I move a 2-meeting deferral.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor of the 2-meeting deferral, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. We have a late filed resolution. It appropriates $700,700 to certain accounts for the benefit of the Board of Fair Commissioners. Councilmember Pridemore.
Yes, Vice Mayor, I ask for a suspension of the rules, please.
Is there any objection to a suspension of the rules? Seeing none, Councilmember Pridemore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. As we know, $700,700 supplemental appropriation for the fairgrounds was included in the resolution 2015-1420, which was deferred 1 meeting. For the fairgrounds, which is part of 2014-20 is part of Farmers Market and Municipal Auditorium. Since Fairgrounds is seeking appropriations of their own revenue, I'm asking that that revenue be given to the Fairgrounds, since they are have received some information from the Fairgrounds that they're in kind of dire need of their own money to keep the operations going, and so I'm requesting that we pass this legislation.
We have a motion. Is there a second? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We have another late filed resolution declares April 16th, 2015 as Meetings Industry Day in Nashville, Tennessee. Councilmember Banks.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move for suspension of the rules.
Is there any objection? Seeing none, Councilman Banks.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate it. So, as you all may know, the meetings industry in Nashville makes a lot of noise and a lot of good things happen downtown in particular. Also creates a lot of jobs, and in order to celebrate that, there's going to be an event on April 16th to recognize and declare April 16th as Meetings Day, or Meetings Industries Day here in Nashville. So, in order to get that done before April 16th and for us to make that recognition of the hardworking folks in that industry, I need to ask your approval of this resolution tonight.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Harmon, do you have a committee report?
Oh.
Yes, Vice Mayor. The Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee considered this resolution and recommended approval. 6 in favor, none opposed.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We're now at bills on introduction and first reading. Do any of these need to be pulled for consideration? Councilmember Berry.
1089.
Councilmember Stites.
1077, please.
Any others? Okay, is there a motion for approval of the bills on introduction and first reading? We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Hager.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I thank Ms. Berry for taking this bill 2015-1089, but I will have to note my abstention or abstain on that. Thank you.
Your abstention is noted. Thank you. First is 1077, amends the Metro Code of Laws and Zoning by amending a portion of the Larchwood Planned Unit Development Overlay District for property located at 3411 Percy Priest Drive and a portion of property located at Blackwood Drive unnumbered. Approximately 1,254 feet west of Stewart's Ferry Pike. Zone CL to permit additional storage capacity for an existing boat storage facility. Councilmember Stites.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We've known for some time that we would need to suspend the rules on this because it goes before the Planning Commission on this Thursday. So with the council's indulgence, I'd like to suspend the rules to hear this bill tonight so that it can be on track for the May public hearing.
Is there any objection to a suspension of the rules? Seeing none, Councilmember Stites.
Move it, please.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Okay, you did not wish to pull that one. Okay. We have a late filed bill on introduction and first reading. It changes from AR2A to RS40 to SP zoning for properties located at 441 Union Bridge Road, Natchez Trace Parkway unnumbered, Hazelton Road unnumbered, and Pasco Road unnumbered south of Highway 100 to permit a mixed-use development. Councilmember Mitchell.
Yeah, Vice Mayor, I'd like to request to suspend the rules to hear this.
Is there any objection to a suspension of the rules? Seeing none, Councilmember Mitchell.
Yeah, this is a huge development that's going to be on the border of Davidson and Williamson County, and I'd like to move approval on first reading tonight.
We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Evans.
I need to be recorded as an abstention on this vote and all subsequent votes.
On this
On this bill.
On this bill, okay.
Not all bills.
Just making sure. Okay, we have.
Leave now.
We have a motion and a second and one abstention. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Councilmember Berry.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just wanted to make sure that Councilman Hager had the chance to. What did you have to do? Thank you. I can't even talk. So, but we do need to pass this bill on first reading. So since it's not on the consent agenda, I would like to move 1089, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Scott Davis, do you need to do something?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to suspend the rules to allow this bill on public hearing, bill number 2015-1077.
Allow it to advertise.
All right. I apologize. 2014.
He wants to suspend the rules to call up BL 2014-806 for the purposes of advertising for the May public hearing. Is there any objection? Seeing none, we need to pass it.
It's actually already passed.
Okay.
This just clear,
gives notice.
gives notice.
Okay. This will be on the May public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Next are bills on second reading. The first one is BL 2015-1056, amends the Metro Code to dedicate the local portion of the hotel motel taxes generated by short-term rental properties to the Barnes Fund for Affordable Housing. Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Weiner.
Personnel, Public Information, Human Resources, and Housing approved 2-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Pridemore.
Budget and Finance voted 10-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. I'd like to move for approval with a brief explanation.
We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Allen.
Just want to explain this short-term rental bill is something we passed a couple of weeks ago, and it will be providing new hotel motel tax revenue. That's 6% of the cost of the stay in the transient occupancy, and most of that is already allocated to convention center payments and to tourism development, but there is 1 cent that goes into the general fund, and this would simply allocate where that money that will come into the general fund would go to the Barnes Affordable Housing Fund, and I'm pleased to be a part of providing the first recurring payments to that, so I would ask for your support.
Thank you. Councilmember Stein.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I want to congratulate the sponsors of this. Clearly, it's setting a mindset of thinking about ways to appropriately fund the Barnes Fund. There's been some discussion about whether or not doing something like this mitigates what will be our need in the budget to add more money to the Barnes Fund. Well, we are woefully behind comparable cities in terms of how much we are funding this at this point in time, and the needs will be far greater than this bill will provide. But this is a great first step. Clearly, it started people thinking about this and what they can do. Clearly, the mayor's now thinking about this in lots of creative ways as well, which is part of the proposal on the old convention center site is to dedicate some of those funds. So I think it's starting sort of a snowball effect of us thinking about creative ways to provide regular funding to this very important fund, which will go a long way towards helping an awful lot of people in our community, and I commend the sponsors.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1057 amends the Metro Code by amending the meter size furnished by the Department of Water and Sewage Services for residential domestic connections of consumers and customers. Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. I'm supposed to ask for committee reports, and I'm the only one. So Public Works voted 5 in favor and 0 against. And I move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1058 declares property located at 3646 Old Clarksville Pike to be surplus and authorizes the Director of Public Property Administration to sell the property. Councilmember Matthews.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
Councilmember Hunt.
Planning and zoning approve 1058, 1040 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Allen.
Public Works approved, 4 in favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Pridemore.
Budget and Finance voted 10-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Matthews.
I move approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1059 abandons easement rights that were previously retained within the former right-of-way of the 50th Avenue for property located at 610 Merritt Avenue. Councilmember Hunt.
Planning and zoning approved Bill 1059, 1040 against.
Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. Public Works approved, 4 in favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Hunt.
Move for approval, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1060 abandons 125 linear feet of existing 48-inch combination sewer main and easement and accepts 215 linear feet of 48-inch combination sewer main and easements for properties located at 210 and 310 First Avenue South. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Works approved, 4 in favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Hunt.
Planning and zoning historical approved Bill 1060, 1040 against.
Councilmember Gilmore.
Move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1061 amends the Geographic Information System Street and Alley Centerline layer for Metro Government by naming the frontage road off Antioch Pike, McGilwan Place. Councilmember Tenpenny.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Vice Mayor, committee reports.
Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Works approved, 4 in favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Traffic and Parking approved, 5-4 and 0 against.
Councilmember Hunt.
Planning and zoning approved bills 1061, 1040 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Tenpenny.
I'd move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1062 amends the Geographic Information System Street and Alley Centerline layer by abandoning alley number 701.5 right-of-way and easement. Councilmember Langster.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Works approved, 4 in favor, 0 against.
Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Traffic and Parking approved, 5-4, 0 against.
Councilmember Hunt.
Planning and zoning approved bill 1062, 1040 against.
Councilmember Langster.
Thank you for all your reports. I move approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1063 readopts the Metro Code containing certain ordinances of a general and permanent nature enacted on or before September 22nd, 2014. Councilmember Harmon.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The Rules Committee recommended approval, 6 in favor, none opposed, and I would move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1016 amends the Metro Code to require building and demolition permit holders for major projects to post a sign on the property providing information about the development. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Already in.
Already in, okay. Move for approval with a brief explanation then.
Have a motion and a second. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, this particular bill is one that I drafted up with the help of John Cooper to assist people in finding out information about things that are going on in community. As you know, Nashville is growing by leaps and bounds all over, and people are driving by and they're seeing grading and they're seeing buildings going up, and sometimes they don't have any signs or anything there to identify what the projects are. And so basically all this does is enlightens them, gives them an idea what is going on there in the community. That way they don't have to call the councilman, they don't have to call codes. So I ask you to approve this, please. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2015-1038 amends the Metro Zoning Code pertaining to the conditions applicable to boat storage facilities. Councilmember Stites.
Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning approved Bill 1038-1040 against.
Thank you, Councilmember Stites.
Move approval, please.
We have a motion and a second, and we need a machine vote.
Oh, disapprove it. Okay.
We need a machine vote. On 1038. If you're in the room, you need to vote yes, no, or abstain.
You need to vote yes.
Madam Clerk, would you close the machine and tally the votes?
I have 37 for, none against.
Motion passes. Next is BL 2015-1042, approves a renewal of a ground lease between Metro Government and Eckerd Corporation. Councilmember Langster.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Is committee report?
All in.
All in. I very proudly move approval. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor, please say aye.
See you, buddy. See you.